Hello, everybody, and welcome to this big Mega Man 3 community race. Mr. Cab, we've got Proto Magical Girl here as well. How's it
Hello?
going, Proto?
It is going good. It is always good when there's Mega Man to be had.
So I believe we're having this race to kind of hype up the upcoming Mega Man 3 tournament. Sign-ups now open, but as you can see, we are already well underway here. We've got Darko, Prissy, Fasta, and Colonel Fatso on stream right now. For the top 7 runners of this game, including Fast at CC, your world record holder. And most of them have chosen to go top first. The old hot route is new and fresh all over again.
This was the childhood route. I'm still proud. Our only renegade here is Colonel Fatso taking the classic magnet first route. The time difference isn't huge. Yeah, I was a top firster as a kid.
I was magnet first, so Colonel Fatso is my hero right now.
Magnet first is a little bit slower, but if you can't mash quite like most of these cats can, then you will be better off with magnet first. Because top first requires that ridiculous mashing for the cats in Top Man stage.
Yeah, Mega Man 3 kind of really is the masher's game.
Yes.
No iframes for enemies, so just unleash the Mega Buster as fast as you can. And it looks like we already have Fasta into Top Man, Colonel Fatso also getting to Magnet Man.
Yep. Yeah, we've got all 3 in the boss right now. And that is 4 boss kills. Which one is this? Fasta is a little bit ahead right now according to my streams, which may or may not be accurate because internet.
Yeah, not much to say really about the top fight. It's pretty much just shoot, dodge, and hope you get through it, and I believe 3 cycles. Magnet Man is a little more involved since he has 2 patterns, unlike Top Man's 1. You kind of want to make sure you hit him as much as you can. You're hoping he doesn't really give you the magnet pulls if you don't have the life to get hit and end them. And really after that, we're already in the next stage, so...
Yeah, we've got the next 3 taking on Top Man, featuring the first appearance of yours truly in the game. And he's already gone from Fasta's. So the Proto fights in this game, mashing. You have to match Proto's jump rate and just lay into him. And it's pretty ridiculous when you watch the pros do it. After that, we have Fasta's favorite room in the game, TM. Lots of technical sliding, small bits of mashing. And just right here, you see the kind of talent you need to take on a game like this at a high level, to be able to just work your way through these rooms without slowing down or stopping or anything.
And it looks like he had to stop a minute there for one of the what are the parachute enemies?
Oh dear, here we go. Here we go. Top parachute. So this was the invention that gave us the top first route. Using the top on these parachute guys. It is terrifying.
And Fast at CC taking a death a few seconds ago. Another one now.
Oh no.
And he's actually in trouble for a game over now. I don't think he's picked up any extra lives just yet.
Yeah, we haven't had any Mega Man 5 references. Meanwhile, Fatso is headed towards Hardman. Easy fight with his weakness, so nothing much to say here. Oh, Fasta's not having a good day right now. That is game over for Fast.
Ooh.
As I said, the parachute with top is terrifying. Darko and Prissy are headed out of Shadow Man stage with Shadow Blade and the most important weapon in the game, Rush Marine, into Gemini Man stage next.
Also want to give shoutouts to Colonel Fatso there. There is a damage boost that you take in the Hardman fight, and we'll get to that when the others get there. He got out of there with 1 hit point left.
Oh gosh.
The clutch fight. So Gemini Man's stage used to be the first stage for a little while, really only about a year and a half ago, until Fasta came along and made Magnet first the thing again, before he made Top Man first the thing again. So a lot of people really kind of know the Buster strats for this screen. You can see Darko and Prissy making their way through it pretty efficiently right now, and they both got the Proto Skip. So funny thing about the NES, it doesn't have a separate sound processor. And so it means in this stage, the music actually lags the game. Good zip there from the Colonel. No, that's from Prissy.
Both of them nailed the zip, Prissy and Darko. That's the one major glitch in this game, as far as I remember.
Yeah, I have way too many streams open right now, so I just lost track of which one was which.
I'm just guessing based on their timers. So yeah, Mega Man 3 is a lag fest, and cutting out the music, and we'll see that a similar glitch again later. To get rid of the music, it is a huge help. Meanwhile, Darko and Prissy are just chugging along with these one-tile slides. It looks pretty hard, and let me tell you, it's harder than it looks because every Mega Man game has its quirks with the sliding engine. Mega Man 3's is that you cannot jump out of a slide for 8 frames, is it?
I think it's 8 frames.
8 frames, and which gives you not a lot of frames to jump off of these one-tile slides without falling into the water and dying.
Prissy got into this Gemini fight with almost no health left and is dancing around for his life. Colonel Fatso's already through it. Gemini Man is actually really annoying to fight until you actually kind of get down his pattern. Fortunately, he has this soft weakness of Shadow Blade, where if you know how to manipulate him, you know how to dodge his shots. It's not too bad, but still, he packs quite the punch if you actually get hit by him.
Don't hug the Gemini.
Don't hug Gemini. Now, I say it's a soft weakness. Mega Man 3 has kind of 2 loops of weaknesses, one of 5, one of 3. So you have Magnet, Hard, Top, Shadow, Spark, and you also have Gemini, Needle, and Snake. So Shadow on Gemini is a nice way to break into that loop of 3. The old Gemini first route would use Needle on Spark to break into that loop of 5.
Fasta nailing the zip. Up above in Prissy and Darko, we are in Needleman stage, which is the point in the run where the special weapons become a lot more useful. You're going to see especially a lot of Gemini laser here. And Fasta is chugging along with a lot of the same that we've seen. Those glitched out penguin guys are because of some of the tiles in the previously mentioned Proto Skip are actually from Snake Man stage, so skipping the cutscene doesn't give the game time to load back into the Gemini palette, giving you a little bit of craziness in Gemini Man stage.
Which is especially weird because we're not even in Snake Man stage yet.
Yep. Meanwhile, Fatso finishing up. Shadow Man, not a bad stage at all. Used magnets for that parachute section instead, which is infinitely less terrifying. And didn't have any real problems there. Nadua? No Nadua for Darko.
No Nadua there. Colonel Fatso making it so nobody runs out of Top by accident against Shadow Man. Top spin's a very weird weapon sometimes. And good fight for Prissy against Needleman as well. And looks like Fasta's still in the game. Done with Gemini Man now.
About one Needleman behind, which, when you have skill like Fasta CC, you can make that up.
Yeah, Needleman. All right. Well,
no, we can.
We're going to be looking at Shelny now, while Fasta mounts his comeback. Shelny, also a veteran of a lot of the classic Mega Man games. Looks like he went top first, or at least he went top previously. He's in Gemini Man now. He might have gone Magnet first. I can't see the top of his splits, and it actually makes sense seeing as he's even with the Colonel right now, that he would have gone Magnet first.
Yeah. I'm loading all the streams right now.
He was a big advocate of
like a
Magnet first.
Shelny is the king of Mega Man 4, as it were, but has a serious time in this game, too.
Yeah, Shelny's one of those players who's just good at all the classic Mega Man games. Looks like he just barely made that jump for the Proto Skip.
Yeah.
Let me refresh Prissy's stream a little bit here.
Yeah,
the one advantage you're getting to see here of going top first is when you get to Magnet Man stage, you don't have to wait on the Yoku blocks to appear. You can just hop on Rush Jet.
Makes it a lot easier to deal with. One tile slides on Fatso's, and with Shelny we're seeing more of the glitch penguins. And here we get to see the Shadow Blade Magnet Man fight. Easier and faster. Still just as technical. You have to really plant those shots. And Magnet's pattern is random. Either he's going to jump up and throw some magnets down at you, or he is going to pull out the mag shield. Both Darko and Prissy got good patterns there, so they were able to take Magnet down very, very quick.
I'm not sure what happened, but I saw Chelney's death, and I looked back at Colonel Fatso had also dialed up 1-800-Armorine for all of your get through this section easily needs.
Yeah, Armorine is your backup here. It's a little slow, but a lot safe, especially in a race environment like this. You know, no pressure. Twitch.tv/speedgaming, whatevs. But either way, they are both through. Fatso finishing up the Gemini fight as our top first racers start Hardman stage, this time with more special weapons than the last time we saw this stage. So you're going to see a little bit more movement tech and such.
I think the big thing early for Hardman stage when you went top first is you have Shadow Blade for the first screen. So rather than using magnets to take out the early bees, which also happens to be Hardman's weakness, you get to use those instead, aim them diagonally up, it takes down the bees in one hit, just like you'll see everybody do in Wily 2 in a little while. After that, it's pretty much the same stage. You're just using Rush Coil most of the way.
This is true.
So we're kind of at the point now where we've already seen these stages a little bit. You're seeing pretty much the same strats, minor differences, but they're about to meet up for Sparkman and Snakeman.
Yeah, we're just watching these racers chug along. Darko having some fun with some bees there. Headed into the, what I believe to be the hardest proto fight in the game, which isn't saying much for these top racers because of the non-level ground there, making proto shots a lot harder to dodge. But both of them are through into the boss fight.
So here's Hardman. We didn't really talk about it earlier. You want to hit him with a few magnets early on. You actually want to get hit by the underside of Hardman while he's taking this dive at the ground. It locks you out of kind of the screen freeze there and just lets you keep hitting him rather than having to stare at the screen for 2 seconds. You do need a lot of health to do it, though, because you will be hit twice in the process.
Oh! Nadua! And Fatso has a bounce around lag laser, as we like to call it, the Nadua, but nails it on the rebound, and all as well. We got one more shot at Nadua's with Chelney coming up. But, I mean, there's always more for Nadua. And then we've got our top firsters starting Snakeman stage.
Darko in there, just a little ahead of Prissy. And looks like Colonel Fatso is also going to Snake next.
Chelney had no problem with the lasers. Advantage to top first, Magnet first over Gemini first. I believe you get the Rush Jet for this stage. Although that could be common to all those routes.
All of the routes do Needle before Snake. This is kind of like the one consistent thing through all the routes. You definitely use Rush Jet throughout this entire stage. Of course, you get Rush Jet from Needleman, and Needle's also Snake's weakness, so there's really no argument here for not doing Needle before Snake.
Yeah, and as you can see, they are putting Rush Jet to work for a lot of time saves.
These mini-bosses you get to kind of just skip and go over. Mega Man 3, of course, the one NES Mega Man game where you fully control the Rush Jet. So you can move it up and around. It's not always moving forward like it is in every other game.
Darko and Prissy nailing the scary jump. One thing worth noting with Rush Jet that you're going to see in a second here, in Mega Man 3, Rush Jet only drains energy when you're standing on top of it. So if you are jumping, like you're going to see Darko and Prissy doing, it is not draining unless Mega Man is directly in contact with the jet. Thus, you can save a ton of energy when you're just going over open air screens like this one, making a lot more Rush Jet usage possible for the game.
You get the side benefit here of there's less lag with Mega Man not on the screen. So they're into the Snake Man fight, and Darko not only gets a good kill, but ends up on that top pattern, on the top platform, I should say.
Same with Prissy. Fatso headed into the fight, and Chelney is about to do the Rush Jet section. So now it's a little easier to see the leads on this, because they're all unified on the route at this point.
Yep. Should note Fasta is in Snake Man stage now, but he's behind Feral Pigman. I think he's more known for Final Fantasy, but he's actually very good at Mega Man 3 as well.
Yep. Headed into Sparkman stage here. There's a lot going on this stage. Some precise jumps and slides, and some good jumpy shooty action, as these games always entail.
The big thing with Sparkman stage, I would say, is making sure you get your slides in so you can time the jumps through those sort of lightning gates. That's kind of the main pattern you'll see throughout the stage. There's a few other little things that will come up, like they're going to blow up the garbage blocks to just reduce lag. The time shots you've already seen them do to take out the spark guys dropping from the ceiling, which really only leaves the last screen of this stage, which is this kind of nightmarish-looking platforming section that, once you know the speed strat, is actually really easy. It's not even hard to execute. It's one of those beautiful situations where the speed strat is actually significantly easier than anything you would come up with casually.
Yeah, you'll notice that Darko and Prissy are taking out the middle garbage block to reduce lag, and because for some reason, when you try to slide on that block, it has a kind of a weird movement glitch that loses a little time that way. So kill two birds with several magnet missiles, and get through that platforming section there, and head into the boss.
Sparkman fight, not too difficult. Just throw the Shadow Blades at him. Try not to die. If you were going Gemini first, that would be the one scenario. You would be fighting him with needles, which is a little trickier. They do 2 damage to the Busters 1, but obviously Shadow Blade, very easy. Of course, you can't shoot Shadow Blade down, so sometimes you end up in that situation that the Colonel was just in. Because you always want to be centered in these Mega Man games. You can't move after you defeat the Robot Master in this game. So to get the weapon at the middle of the screen, this is actually the first game where they implement this feature. You want to get centered, and in this fight, as well as the Snake Man fight, there's that platform in the middle. So let's see, I don't have the sound on, so I don't know if Darko got it. Prissy just
got it. Does Prissy have it?
There was a very precise setup there, and you probably didn't even notice it. You slide off that first platform, holding right. You slide off the next platform after a quick wiggle, holding left, and you actually hit the spikes the same frame you hit the screen transition. This makes the gameplay the death sound, but obviously they're still going. This, much like in Gemini Man stage, kills the music, reduces lag, and everybody's happy. Makes this middle section actually a lot easier to do when there's less lag.
Mm-hmm.
And of course,
Chelmy going for it too.
Didn't hear Colonel Fatso again being a rebel and has gone Gemini first for the Doc Robot stages.
I can't hear Chelmy's, but based on the lag and or lack thereof, it looks like he got it too. Fatso headed through Doc Gemini now. Missed a shot on these needles. Oh geez. He is having a little bit of trouble right now, but he is through that. Darko and Prissy have the first Doc Robot down and are headed into the second half of Doc Shadow stage.
So if you're new to Mega Man 3, I guess we should actually explain this a little bit. Much like after the 8 Robot Masters, you get to go through sort of redesigns of 4 of the Robot Master stages. And you fight this kind of weird-looking guy called Doc Robot, who has all the Mega Man 2 Robot Master abilities.
Doc Robot standing for Diverse Operating Circuit Robot, according to the lore. But yeah, basically you're refighting the Mega Man 2 bosses in an assortment of remixed Mega Man 3 stages. These stages are by far the hardest in Mega Man 3.
Easily.
Definitely for casual play. For speedrunning, it's a little harder to say because of the variety of strats you can use in Mega Man 3 especially. But they are, if anything else, certainly not easy.
Prissy had to use an E-Tank, but he takes out Doc Heat. Doc Heat work weak against the top spin. It's possible to get double hits on his cycles after the first one, although he'll die in 4 hits, so you're really only looking for the one. So now everybody else, or at least
Darko
and
us
Prissy,
a little bit of a scare there.
Into Gemini. Yeah, that was a close one. Colonel Fatso done with Gemini Man stage. You fight Flash Man and Bubble Man in here. A weird point, Doc Flash is actually easier on the Japanese cart than on the US cart. I forget exactly why. I think he fires less shots, or the flash lasts for a smaller amount of time. Colonel Fatso nails the sound glitch in Doc Shadow stage, so he's going to be going a little faster.
Yep. Meanwhile, we are seeing just a lot of surprisingly precise setups with the needle going through the bubble egg section in Doc Gemini. You are shooting very specific ones, so you can spawn the little tadpoles in places that are out of your way, letting you get through the parts you actually need to slide across much faster.
Yeah, the key to that is you can only have 3 of the small tadpoles on the screen at once. So once there's 3, if they're not in your way, you just shoot bubbles with impunity. Some really precise spike sliding in this section as well, as you just saw from Darko and you are about to see from Prissy.
Rustjet works underwater, just gonna point that out. Yeah, the super scary spike sliding in the back half of Doc Gemini.
Darko is way out in front here, already into Bubble Man. They did kind of keep similar weaknesses. We don't have Metal Blades, but you're going to see Shadow Blades against Bubble Man. Woodman, you've already seen, is weak to needles. Yeah.
That being said, I still remember playing Mega Man 3 as a kid and just being absolutely bewildered over what the heck were the weaknesses for these guys, but in a speedrun, you know that stuff, so it is not as much of a concern.
I'm not quite sure how Topspin
equates. Rush Marine.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how Topspin equates to Bubble Lead myself, but it's what's there.
Hard jump at the beginning of Doc Needle. That big jump up to that platform over the spikes, a little harder than it looks. Definitely eats casual lives. No problem for our top tier runners here. We're seeing the Gemini laser used on those porcupine-type robots because it can take them down in one hit, which is much faster than they can go down with Buster, and leaves you not having to worry about them shooting out needles and rolling around and all that fun stuff.
So it should be noted, there's really no rhyme or reason to which Doc Robot stage you go to first. You have all the weapons, you don't get any new items from this point in the game on. It's usually just which stage is hard so I can get the reset point out of the way first. And from there, you just kind of get used to running it in that order. So Airman's probably the most different fight because of the slide. You can actually get underneath some of the air shooters, unlike Mega Man 2. And as you can see now on Darko's screen, he's in another kind of Rush Jet section, he's jumping off the top of the screen. The weird thing here is those dragonflies will go down. They try and go level with Mega Man if you're just kind of flying through the stage normally. But when you're basically over the top, the game kind of wraps your Y position, makes those dragonflies drop all the way at the bottom. You can also jump around the screen to either take damage from one of the parachute enemies or collect one of the large weapon drops down there. The second half of this stage, I think, is one of the few places you actually use Search Snakes outside of a boss fight. In fact, you don't even ever use them in a boss fight except for one Doc Robot.
Will we not be seeing them in Wily? Or are these runners going to use a different setup?
That's true. The Pinbot, the Wily machine in this game. Forgot about that one.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more of the Gemini Man refight.
Yeah, Darko headed into Doc Crash. Prissy not far behind. Same with Chelmy and Fatso, just a couple screens for them. Take down Doc Crash with the hard knuckle because logic and reasons.
Crash Man jumping around, he just needed a good punch to the face. I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm not saying I disagree with you. Crash Man is fairly difficult with the hard knuckle because Crash Man is very fast and the hard knuckle is very slow. But once you kind of learn how to set it up, it's
like
pretty
Colonel
easy.
Fatso just did.
Yup. Doc Spark stage, no fun universally.
Just the one thing I want to get in about the Crashman fight, he pretty much jumps whenever you shoot. So if you know the arc he's going to take in the jump, you can just plant the knuckle right in his face.
Mm-hmm.
Doc Sparky used a lot of Gemini early, just to kind of take things out a little easier. It takes out the missile bots a lot as well. Interesting part here, you're using magnets on Doc Metal. Funny thing in Game Boy Mega Man, because you get some mixed weapons, Metal works on Magnet Man. So go figure.
Yep. Just stick a bunch of stuff to him, and eventually he'll just kind of collapse down on himself because science. Meanwhile, the traditional Mega Man Spike Fall, more for show than anything else in here because they don't give you much of a challenge on it. And we're dealing with these screw attack enemies, mostly damage boosting to just kind of rocket through here.
One weird thing about that section, there's actually a lot of despawns you're going to see. You get the enemy to kind of go off the screen to the right without re-scrolling their spawn point back on the screen, and they're just gone. So it's a lot less laggy if you know how to do that. Also less painful because it's hard to dodge everything going in there. Of course, Doc Quick, really annoying. It looks like Darko fought Doc Quick with Gemini Laser.
That is interesting. The traditional weakness, I believe, is Snake.
Yes.
Snake is gosh darn impossible to hit Doc Quick with, so Gemini may not be a terrible idea. Here comes the all-important Split on Breakman.
Don't forget to split on Breakman, everybody.
Never forget to split on Breakman.
Oh!
Ooh.
And Doc Quick does hurt if you get hit by him.
Don't hug the Doc.
It's part of why you want to use the snakes, but you have to be at close range. If you use the laser, you might not have enough ammo depending on how many lasers you used in the first part of the stage. And if you miss, because you only have one on the screen at a time, it's very likely that Nadua will come to haunt you and you won't actually be able to hit him. We're having a Buster fight against Metal Man for the Colonel there. He must have ran out of magnets. The one
headed
weird thing
into
about
Wily for Darko.
that Spikefall, I think Colonel Fatso is going for a setup to despawn the music, like in some of the other stages.
Oh,
the problem
he did
with
not
that,
get it.
the problem is that one is likely to kill you, and it's before the midway point of the stage. That's why he's back at the start now. And just in SRL chat, he's actually just decided to quit the race now. Doesn't want to go through Doc Spark anymore.
I cannot say I blame him. Meanwhile, we've got Darko chugging along through Wily 1 here. Chelmy and Prissy not too far behind.
Mm-hmm. It looks like Feral Pigman's up to Breakman. Fasta is wrapping up Doc Spark himself right now. Got Cassio third, going through Doc Needle. I'm not sure how far behind he is otherwise. I think that's his last Doc Robot stage.
Who are we putting up in the fourth box?
We'll find out. Either way, Darko is fighting the Turtle Machine now.
Kamigoro Maker. This thing is kind of an RNG fest. I believe the spawn time of the turtles can be either fast or slow. Either way, you take care of them with Shadow Blade or the top spin.
Yep.
Not sure if there's
I don't
necessarily a preference for casual play, but for the speedrun, I believe you use Shadow Blade, so you don't have to jump up there. Saves a couple frames each time.
Looks like we've got Fasta back on the screen, slightly behind the Feral Pigman actually right now. But he is Fasta. You're going to get to see a fast Wily stage here.
Alright, let me
the
reload all of these then.
Turtle Machine is a huge RNG point. Darko in Wily 2, like I said earlier, you're going to get to see everybody use the shadows on the bees here. This is one small Rush Jet section, and then we get to see something we like to call Easy Devil.
Easy Devil.
So you just saw the Mega Man 1 edition of the Rock Monster, the Yellow Devil, whatever you want to call him. In that game, it's Elec Beam, it's nice and easy, you push select a lot, it's over with. This game, it's a little harder. The weakness is actually Hard Knuckle, which you can really only get one shot off, and you might notice A, they have Shadow Blade equipped instead of Hard Knuckle. B, he's actually standing inside the Yellow Devil right now. But he's going to get knocked back into position and mash.
Oh, and Darko has the one-cycle Devil.
No more Devil.
That is nothing to be messed around with. That is very, very serious. Ridiculous mashing, but if you know Darko, you know he is more than capable of it.
Oh, yeah.
Prissy's on his way in. Let's see if he can pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Fasta is
Chelny's
fighting
not
the
far
turtles.
behind.
There's some Nadua turtles there, as it were. Chelny is into the Devil also.
I think I lost Prissy's stream for a minute, but there we go. So the setup here is to basically start in the right
Prissy's
position.
got it too.
Look to get knocked back left, turn around so you get knocked back right back where you started. That way when you take damage again, you'll still be underneath the eye when you're finished getting knocked back, so you just need to aim up.
3 for 3 on the one cycles here. That is not a common occurrence.
Well, there's another one. We didn't get to talk about Wily 3 very much while Darko was crashing through it. I don't feel like it's that hard of a stage or that complicated. It's just kind of rush coil in a few spots to save as much time as you can, but you saw something interesting there against the Mega Man clones, and I guess we'll talk about that in a moment when the others catch up. But Fasta now going for the Devil kill. I think it's got to be at least like 20 seconds if this thing has to cross the room.
Yeah, the Easy Devil is a huge time loss for such a hard trick.
Well, we get to find out.
Fasta misses it by one blade. Meanwhile, we're going through the Frogger rooms with Chelny, while Darko is into the refights. So if you watch Chelny's stream here, fires with Rush Coil, switches the weapon, and he is dead. The Buster on Rush equips can actually do a damage transfer glitch, where when you menu to another weapon, it takes on the damage properties of that weapon, which you are going to see used there, and I believe in the Gamma fight.
Yes. It's weird because Rush is the only weapon, as it were, that you can actually pause the game during with a shot on the screen. So it's the only one you have even the opportunity to set this up. One other thing, I guess, now that we are getting to the refights, I mentioned earlier we're not really going to get to see Snake here. Snake is Gemini's weakness. Weird thing about this game, everyone's weak to their own weapon, so Gemini is now Gemini's weakness.
This is the Metal Man of Mega Man 3. Yuck.
Saves a pause while you basically don't have to switch weapons again and go straight to Needleman with Gemini still equipped. Darko's living on the edge here. He's not taking any of these health refills.
Oof. He is Darko, to be fair.
So the other one you get to double up on is Shadow Blades, work on both Magnet Man as well as Spark Man.
Darko is really, he has, what, 5 health left? So
maybe not even. So I wouldn't be surprised if Spark did him in here.
Okay, he gets the drop there.
It's really unfortunate because that was the last one.
Good, but whew. And Darko is through to the Pinbot stage.
And the other's not far behind.
Prissy setting up a beautiful Nadua laser there that came right around on the rebound. Here comes Pinbot. Gonna mash some snakes into this thing, and then for the second phase, they're actually going to fire 2 lag snakes off to the side so that they can mash faster relative to the game's frame rate to take down the second phase. Darko didn't even bother with that setup as far as I saw because he's Darko.
If you can mash, it's not necessary to lag the game.
This is true. So, Darko did it. He beat Wily. Oh, wait, that's... Oh.
Turned out that wasn't
not Wily. Well, darn. Prissy is through the refights, headed into the Pinbot. Same setup. Meanwhile, Darko is headed into the Gamma fight. And here we go.
We mentioned earlier, I don't think you're actually going to see it here. You would use that top spin glitch with Rush on the US cart because this won't work on the US cart, what you just saw. On the Japanese cart, you keep your iframes through the pause, so you can take that hit, jump up, and apply top spin directly to the forehead, and down goes Gamma. On a US cart, you would basically do the same thing you did against the Mega Man clones, get a rush coil jump off to the side, fire 2 lemons, and apply the top spin damage property to them, and that's how you would win that fight. 35 even.
Not bad at all.
Spoilers, we have a time from RaceBot for Prissy now. So no drama here. $35.39 for Prissy. So GG to our racers. Really, everyone you're seeing on screen, including Colonel Fatso, is going to be kind of a force to be reckoned with in this tournament. It looks like Chelney went up for a snake kill on Gemma. Kind of interesting. That's the weapon I knew to use on him growing up all the time, so that was kind of weird.
I used top spin. And Darko offering his praises to the great Proto Man in the Sky at the end of the game.
Looks like we do have Feral Pigman on the stream now. He's getting into the Gemma fight. Got a couple of racers getting through the Yellow Devil fight right now. Casio just kind of took it out in a 2-cycle, as did Toad. And Fasta's wrapping up Gemma as well. So again, we have a Mega Man 3 tournament coming up. I think we have pool play starting probably late January, early February. I haven't looked at the challenge page recently, but we do have signups there. And I don't know if Feasel's around right now, but is it alright if we throw a link up there? So I'll work on getting that as we cycle through more of the racers.
It's like the
Thanks,
chat.
Proto.
There's a spot command for it.
Man, technology these days.
Amazing. We
like
say
you
as
can
we
build
play
super
a
fighting robots.
early 1990s game about beating up robots.
Yeah. If you haven't actually heard the soundtrack for this game, it's kind of one little piece of trivia. The Proto Man theme that plays through the entire ending here. There's actually more to it than the game ever has time to play, because it transitions into the staff role with the Robot Master design before it finishes playing.
Second little piece of trivia, it's not the only song in the game to do that. The Wily Castle map jingle actually has a whole second section to it. It is completely different than what you'd expect. If you want to find that, I believe the official Capcom released Mega Man OSTs has it. Also, sites like the Cutting Room Floor have it up there. If you're curious, it's interesting. I was surprised when I first heard it.
I'm not going to attempt to sing it on stream. I'll just embarrass myself. So yeah, there should be resources out there. Certainly, if you start asking around, we could probably get people hooked up with some tutorials. I'm sure some will be getting made for this tournament. And of course, everybody's welcome in all of these tournaments. So if you like Mega Man, if you like these speed gaming tournaments and you want to get involved, I mean, Mega Man's a great game. We all know it. We all love it. Just feel free to jump in and have some fun in the tournament.
The nice thing about the setup is it's pool play into a bracket, so even if you're not the best like me who really needs to start learning this game soon, you will get a couple matches in, even if you're not winning any of them.
So, Not sure if we're going to put anyone else on stream, but if not, as you can see on Shelny's corner, this game has been presented by Capcom. I'm not sure. Cool. Zoda, kind of a well-known Mega Man 2 runner, busy fighting the Yellow Devil right now, from what I can see. Got the setup for Easy Devil. He nails it. Fasta in the race chat and already saying Zoda the God Masher. Yeah, look around, see what I have going as well. We've got actually Beef Watson is fighting the Mega Man clones right now. Got one person still in Doc Needle. KLM is actually kind of new to the Mega Man 3 scene. He's done 37-37.
KLM's been around for a little while in Mega Man. I don't know how long he's been in 3.
I just started kind of noticing it a couple months ago now. So Zoda working his way through Wily 3 here. This is kind of the Rush Coil section near the end. He's just going to jump right through it. Using Rush Coil here is a little iffy at best, just because of the way all the platforms are always moving. If you don't have the setup, like you just saw, it's very easy to bonk and really not gain any time. One more time with the fast kill, jump up, fire 2 lemons, switch over to top.
Easy every time.
It's actually as easy as it looks. There's a couple of nuances with where you take a step, so that you actually get Rush to land at the right spot, so you can actually get up there.
If you are doing that boss casually, you can actually tell which clone is the real one, because only the real one will do the little teleport animation. But we don't have time for that in these races, so we're just gonna glitch our way through it.
Well, that, and actually he's always on top to start that fight.
Yes.
So if you can get up to the top, even if you don't get the glitch down, you can actually use top spin directly on him. And it works just as well as the Rush Coil trick. We've got Beef Watson in the refights. One little weird thing about the refights with Top Man, especially if you hit him point blank with a hard knuckle, the game kind of freezes for probably a good 5 seconds. It's really scary if you don't know what to deal with, what to expect there.
I did not know that was even a thing until about yesterday, so...
And the Gemini refight's actually another place. You can actually do it in the original fight as well, but it's harder to do there. If you kill both clones, like the 2 clones jumping around are actually separate enemies, and the final robot master that appears is kind of its own separate enemy in the game. You can kill both clones before the game realizes you've killed one of them and spawns the real Gemini Man. And that's a soft lock. I may or may not have seen a certain well-known Mega Man X and Rocket League speedrunner in a 1 through 10 race kind of get caught there, and it was agreed by everyone we would look the other way.
Oh dear. So Zoda actually just ran out of magnets on Hardman, and as we previously said, self-weaknesses are big in Mega Man 3, menued over to the Hard Knuckle, had no problem taking him down in one last hit. Beef Watson challenging the Pinbot now.
Looks like we have Avalon Star on screen as well. Find that Twitch window in this massive multi-Twitch I have running.
So Beef Watson did the lag snake setup, but wasn't quite able to get it in one hit. As you can see, if you miss it for the second phase, your best bet is to switch to top. And Moonwalks
Shadow
back there. Nadua Laser on Zoda's screen here. Let's see what's going on with...
The big thing that can happen when you when you miss the snake quick kill there, we just saw some snake strats actually on Gemini Man. Didn't quite work out. But on the Pinbot, just make sure as you're hitting with Shadow Blades, watch your health. It's actually pretty easy to be jumping into it and actually get killed by the body before you kill it. So we are seeing some snake strats on Gemini. It's still a very effective weapon.
Beef Watson is setting up the coil kill. Just going straight in with the top spin, and Gamma is down. Zoda has finished the refights and is headed into the Pinbot fight. Same with Avalon Star, so we're going to see a couple more sets of snake mashing.
Mhm.
Well, looks like Avalon Star has... Is that Spark Shock out? That is interesting. I have never seen that before. Not half bad, though.
Looks effective. And he's going to go with
And
Rush
using the everyone's favorite casual strat, the Rush Jet, stand and mash, never fails.
There's no iframes on this thing, so you can just fly right in its face and pummel. It actually does work very well. It's just the snake quick kill is a little faster, and if you miss it, you're caught underneath where it's hard to get Rush Jet out and get up there, so you might as well use the Shadow Blades.
Yep. Zoda's doing the same thing, runs out of jet. Looks like he is going to go in with the Shadow Blades. He's got to start nailing some hits. His health, oh, he was good. Almost took a death there. His iframes almost ran out. Avalon taking on Phase 1 Gamma with the Shadow Blade.
We have Mega Man X 381 on stream now as well, working his way through the refights. I think we have one more person just getting into the Wily stages with Smart Alec. I wonder who thought of that name.
Some Smart Alec.
Boom! No, I can't seem to bring up Javeth's stream. I'm not sure if he's done or not. This was a large race. It's actually a lot of fun. Ooh, Meteor Wave actually off stream having some fun actually trying to use snakes on the Mega Man clones. That's another of their weaknesses.
Dear.
Didn't quite work out for him though. So let's see.
Mega Man X 381 still chugging through the refights here.
Mm-hmm. Shadow Blade is actually really awkward, I think, to use as a weapon. As much as it has some Metal Blade sort of properties.
Yeah, it has the same stuff as Metal Blade with way too much ammo and 7 direction fire.
Well, it doesn't even have 7. It really only has 5. And the snapback makes it actually a little awkward to aim. You can only have the one on the screen. And when you miss, it's got to come all the way back to you before you can fire another one.
Mega Man X using the same Spark Shock setup for the first phase of Pinbot. And then going with the Rush Jet mash strats, the tried and tested childhood casual strats. Or at least they were for me.
Just a really good strat, though. It's just
not as good. It is just killer.
It's one of those great situations where the casual strat is actually almost as good as the real strat. And Beef Watson, I guess, is just kind of re-practicing this easy devil kill right now. It's Mega Man X is finishing his younger brother's work.
Nice. Technically older brother. If we were being...
That's true. That's true.
For being exact here. About, only 100 years older.
One of those.
So, technically, about 70. since we've talked about Mega Man lore here.
Grandpa
20XX
Rock.
versus 21XX, and X was in the capsule for 30 years, so 70-year difference between brothers. No big deal.
Mm-hmm. Zoda's playing Mega Man 2. That's his real game.
Zoda is very, very good at Mega Man 2, as we saw in the Mega Man 2 tournament a little while back.
Mm-hmm. Practicing the fast air trick here. Or less of a trick, more of a technique. As you can see, it's not very fun, but it is very fast. Let's see. Yeah, Smart Alec is about to get to those refights now. And who is still going? Infinite Mystery. It's between Smart Alec and Infinite Mystery right now.
Oh, now that is a race.
I haven't checked yet. I'm about to. I have this massive 20 or something stream multi-Twitch up right now.
Dear Lord, if only.
I don't think I can spell.
It doesn't look like Infinite is up, no.
I think Infinite Mystery did just finish. It's got a 5127 because I know what his alt channel is. He's streaming there.
Sneaky guy.
Mm-hmm. Smart Alec here, as you can see, in a little bit of a bind with not able to finish off the Yellow Devil in 2 cycles. That secondary room crossing
Oh, dear.
is just a pain. And this stage has no
Oh.
checkpoint, so you get to play it all over again.
Oh no.
And I don't think the
I'm a little behind right now as I'm trying to reload everything.
I don't think the E-tanks come back, so he should have had to. Or maybe he used them. I didn't get to see much of the
He
fight.
did have to. He managed amazingly to not use one due to a mismenu, which was very unfortunate.
Mm.
Well, let's see where we're. Okay, now I have the stream up. Rush jetting through Wily.
Trying to go underneath the claptraps.
Oh dear.
Rush doesn't like the spikes either. Alright, so Wily 2. Very unassuming kind of stage, but really, much like in Hardman stage, if you don't know how to deal with the bees, you're going to have a problem. He's going in here. The trick is you can't really kill the, like, I don't know what to call the hive thing that the bees drop. The bees just lag the game so much. He's got to do something about Rush's weapon energy soon. This is going to be a very exciting crossing of the spikes.
Crossing of the spikes. I'm gonna get some Buster only strats up in here.
He's got to use some iframes here. Look at this. The strats. So Mega Man.
Smart
always
Alex
knocks
says
backwards.
yes to the bees.
Yes, the bees. Has to use
He
an
still
E-tank
has to
before he
tank.
goes in. Some creative gameplay there to get out of a bind. I love it. In comes Yellow Devil.
Yeah, that is damage boosting off the bees. It's pretty similar to the Mega Man 3 Buster only strat for that stage.
Phew,
Takes about a third of the devil's health there.
it looks close to half, but you're right. It's not. It's somewhere in between. The trick here is if you're not going for the fast kill, I'm not sure if Shadow Blade is actually the way to go. He's going to use another E-tank. Does get the
Got
two.
it in 2 cycles.
Got him.
Heading into Frogger stage here.
Damn. So Wily 3, just another kind of weird stage here.
I'm in trouble with some of these jumps.
These jumps
Can't
are
say I
not
blame him.
the easiest thing in the world to time right.
Stopping to get the E-Tank, never a bad decision. Mega Man 3, especially in the castle stages, is nothing if not generous with the E-Tanks.
They figured you got through the Doc Robot stages, you've earned them.
Something like that. But while you may not need all 9 that you can very easily get, it never hurts to have a few.
A little tricky to get under these Stomper robots. There's actually a trick, and this works at the end of Hardman stage as well. If you switch weapons, or at the very least pause and unpause the game as you're falling onto the screen, the timing for sliding under them will be just right, since the enemy's timer for what they're going to do keeps running while you're in the mini beam-in animation.
We're now having a little bit of trouble with the last Frogger section. Made it through.
He's gonna go to
Headed
Snakes.
into the copy. Or the clone.
Knows that you can...
Gets it in
It's
one
almost
cycle,
the
not
top
bad
one.
at all.
Only took 5 Snakes, not bad actually.
Definitely not a bad strat, no. Meanwhile, excuse me while I go cry in the corner thinking about the Hitoshi Ariga arc with Clone Mega Man. If you haven't read it, you should, since this chat seems to like Mega Man lore in Extended Universe.
We're getting a little bit of stream buffering. I think I see it on stream as well as my own
Yeah.
feeling of it. So we can only hope Smart Alec is having fun in the refights right now. Snakes do kill a lot of things kind of quick. You can almost hear the Robot Master saying, "Why did it have to be snakes?" Snake Man's weapon actually does kind of stand out as this kind of weird one, because everything else is sort of energy, doing weird things. And now we're shooting snakes.
It's just little robot snakes. According to some of the lore, they're little spy robots, but in this case you just kind of throw them at things and they do damage for unexplained reasons. Maybe they just like latch onto you or something, I don't know.
I'm guessing
It's an 8-bit
Gemini,
video game, don't question it.
Gemini Man just doesn't like spies then. Needle Man with the dodges.
No, do, Smart Alec has a full Nadua all the way until the beam goes off screen. Gets the second one on the rebound.
Needle Man's
So he's
actually...
gonna get another full one. Needle Man does a serious amount of damage. Oh, Smart Alec barely pulls out of that fight, getting the health drop. Nadua never fails. Meanwhile, Fasta is practicing top parachutes. Still terrifying.
See Buster on Magnet here. Not sure. I missed
After you run out of the blades and the shock, I guess Buster would be your next go-to.
Yeah,
But
Buster's
between blades and shock, you really shouldn't be running out. So I don't know if he didn't choose to use one of those. Ooh, it takes a death.
Well, he has
and that is a game over.
his weapons back now.
Yep. Has full weapons.
It's another stage with the little Gutsman clones in them. I was talking to somebody about Gutsman yesterday and how many times through the entire series you keep fighting basically that same robot.
I think that was in your 1 through 10. We were discussing which Robot Master you see the most. Smart Alec is back to the refights. Coming in fresh with all his weapons, although he won't have any E-Tanks this time.
So it's worth noting that Nadua, Needleman will always jump
To a
the
man.
first time you shoot. So if you go in the fight and the first thing you do is just shoot a laser at him, it's not going to work. You have to kind of get close enough that he can't out-jump it. Otherwise, you are destined to see a laser bouncing around the walls for a long time. Yeah, he's going straight to Buster against Magnet. Not even using Spark
Mag Shield.
at all.
Not necessarily a fun decision. Also, if you are bustering Magnet, when he is up in the air shooting magnets down at you, stand underneath him. He will not hit you with magnets. That is the safest spot to stand in.
Yep. Really, this Magnet Man fight, as well as really all the Proto Man fights in the game, really designed to kind of tell the player, by the way, you should really push down in A. Something really cool is about to happen. Since this is the first Mega Man game you can slide. He's using Shadow Blades on Gemini as well. Useful.
Looks like he has been watching some speedruns, using some of the quick kills that are not necessarily the safest or the easiest.
We're going back into Gemini now. The Shadow Blade, just because of the way it bounces back, it's a little awkward to aim sometimes. So it does give you a little bit of an extra opportunity in some of these sections, but you're going to see every time he shoots, Gemini is going to jump. Ooh, the turnaround.
Oh!
Killed in
Sniped
cold
with the
blood.
laser.
So,
Looks like he's gonna try some different fights. Not a
We're gonna
bad
go the
decision.
other way.
That Gemini fight is brutal, even when you're using the snake weakness.
one good thing about the snake weakness is it's got a good chance of connecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to go around the other side of the teleporters here. Using Spark on Spark, so there's some inkling of Robot Masters are weak to their own weapon. Don't think I've seen Spark on Spark violence before.
It's really
Yeah.
sparking something.
The good news is we didn't get a chance to talk about this at all earlier. Top spin is kind of weird. In that, like, I'm pretty sure the way it works is the more you're holding B inside of an enemy, the more it gets drained. So it's actually pretty easy sometimes to use all of it by accident against Shadow Man before he's dead.
When in doubt, the safety technique is never do it while you are damaged.
Never do it while Mega Man has iframes.
Realistically, you don't need to be holding it ever. Just kind of jump into him, press B, and then kind of come out and go back in. If you're not trying to set up a 34 pace kill, that will do you just fine for this game. Smirnovic was mashing the magnets in Hardman, which was not a good decision because the iframes for Hardman with the weakness are a little longer than the typical Mega Man 3.
The bigger problem there, too, is magnets take 2 points of weapon energy every time you use them. Very easy to run out of them quickly. He's going to Gemini on Gemini, but he fired right over their heads this fight.
Oh,
This
that,
fight.
that rebound shot. And he has got Gemini this time.
Nice.
He is out with decent shape in regard to health. Wonder what he's going to decide to refill. Looks like he's taking Shadow Blade. Not a bad decision. He knows what's coming up next.
So again, since the link is out there in chat, we do have that Mega Man 3 tournament starting very soon. Feel free to sign up. The more, the merrier.
Taking some time to refill his weapons. Based on the Spark grab, my guess is he's going to do the Spark for Pinbot first phase here.
Yep.
Which, as we've seen, is a pretty easy strat compared to the snakes, and definitely very safe, so not a bad decision at all.
If you're going to go to the Rush Jet for Phase 2, it's actually not bad to do those sparks.
Yeah, saves you a menu page. which is never a bad thing. In a lot of the Mega Man games, menuing time is a very serious factor in your routing. Mega Man 3 is no different. Opening the menu, switching pages does take a very noticeable amount of time.
I
So
think
if you can minimize, it is very, very beneficial to do so.
I think Spark, Snake, and Jet are all on the same page.
Yeah, the second page is all the S weapons and the rush powers. At least as I remember it.
Grabbing that E-Tank just in case.
Never a bad decision.
Grabbing the one up here, actually, I would say is a bad decision.
Probably. He
With
should
no
be fine.
checkpoints here, if you run out of lives, you get all of your weapon energy back. It's actually a good thing. We're gonna get...
Yeah.
these
Gamma Fight is
shadows.
not much to fear if you know how to use a couple weapons on him, and it looks like Smart Alec does, using Shadow Blade. And let's see what setup he goes for this kill. Looks like he is going to set up the coil. He was too late on the menu to get the top glitch. Looks like he's got it this time. No,
One
not
shot
quite.
ding before he could pause. You can see there, he's down to 2 points of health for Gemma. But
There you go.
second jump does
He's got it.
He's done with a 106.05. And I think that is everyone. So, did you like that run of Mega Man 3?
I certainly did.
It's good because I think there's a rumor going around we're going to see another one.
What? Oh man. How lucky are we?
Mega Man 3 too.
Too many Mega Man 3s.
No such thing.
Agreed. Fasta still practicing. Top parachutes. As I said, this strat is terrifying. He is very much in the right mind to be practicing it over and over and over and over again. Because it is very scary and very costly to mess up.
Alright, so I think we're just going to take a moment to figure out how the next race is going to get set up. And we'll have that going. I don't think we talked about it earlier, as long as we're between races. Just amusing trivia facts about Mega Man 3. US cart text is actually faster than the Japanese text.
What? That is interesting.
The only place it matters is the that little cutscene after the Breakman fight with the IBN computing machine in the background. So it looks like we have another race room created. Everyone is joining the new one. We still have a few seconds. If you saw this, you liked this race, and you want to jump in,
Looks like we're setting up with Fasta, Pigman, and Darko. I don't think that is Smart Alec practicing Prissy. Okay. That makes sense. So
I'm not going to put it past Smart Alec to get really good really fast.
you know, you saw the makings of some very serious strats there. That's a big thing with Mega Man games, pretty much all of them. Knowing the strats is half the battle, learning to execute them is about just as challenging. Especially in a game like Mega Man 3, where there are 3 different major routes and tons of different strat options throughout.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot with Mega Man 2 during that tournament. Most Mega Man games have plethora of routes as you go around and try and figure out what to actually do. Mega Man 3 primarily has 3 routes. There is a 4th sort of needle first experiment going on out there somewhere.
Is there really?
Although I think more than anything, it kind of proves that all the routes are pretty good at the end of the day.
Yeah, once you figure out how to balance it all out, you put a Robot Master first, you're going to lose some time in that stage compared to other routes. You put a Robot Master fourth, you are going to save some time because you have weapons to work with. It is really just kind of a slot around puzzle, trying to figure out where you can optimize for the most time.
Yeah, and a lot of that across a lot of games ends up becoming the question of where is Rush Jet and how do I get my hands on it?
This is true.
So I think we're mostly actually readied up for the second race. Just looking back again at the results of the previous race.
Gates, Wagonfly.
We had our winners with Darko, followed by Prissy, then Chelmy, Feral Pigman, and Fasta. With Colonel Fatso running into some problems. So Feral Pigman has won himself a spot on the mainstream. Congratulations.
Definitely well earned.
And I think we are about ready to go. Oy. Reloaded the multi-twitch with everybody in this race and remembered that we'll play all their streams at once again.
Proceed with the friendly message on the password screen.
So does Prissy actually join the race yet?
I do not have SRL open, so... So, Mega Man lore fun facts time. Did you know that Breakman is actually the same robot as Proto Man?
There's that
something to consider.
There's that cutting room floor kind of sprite of Breakman unmasking himself to be Proto Man.
Is there really? I've never seen that.
That's out there somewhere.
Somewhere, probably being the cutting room floor, since they tend to have just about everything hidden in a game. The Mega Man 3 page for TCRF is really pretty full. There's a lot of stuff. There's a unused background from Gemini Man stage that has a Saturn-like planet on it. Some other stuff like that.
I forget which ROM hack uses that Saturn planet, but it looks really good when you finally see it. Darko is...
I don't know a ton about 3 ROM hacks. Looks like the race is starting. Darko and Fasta and Prissy taking top first. Feral Pigman taking Magnet first again.
So Feral Pigman is my new hero. Not sure about the Ultros Boogie team, but we'll take Magnet first. So again, this first screen of Top Man is really laggy, and I think we're going to just follow the Top Man first route for the most part here. The best thing you can do is
the way to go.
kill those little
how to mash.
Kill those little frog enemies if you can. Reduce lag. Really, after mashing, lag reduction is probably the biggest thing in this game.
Yeah, as we've said, Mega Man 3 is lag city, especially compared to even the other Mega Man games. It is one of the laggiest of the bunch, so doing everything you can to keep that down, you know, it's going to save you a couple seconds here or there, frames at a higher level, but it does add up when you know what you're doing.
More one-tile slides. Ugh.
Oh boy.
I get the heebie-jeebies just looking at them.
Yep.
It's Fasta gonna go for the top jump. Didn't need to pause. Not sure. That means he was going a little slower. Lots of comments coming up in race chat of "didn't die yet."
I mean, hey, that is a really good speedrun strat in a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
Not dying is really great, unless you're in the Rush Jet auto-scroller in Wily's Castle in Mega Man 8.
There's a few other spots, but looks like the only one dying here is Top Man until Magnet Man's got a little bit left in him. There he goes.
You've got top spin cutscenes going on here.
So Magnet and Top have the nice property of Buster does 2 damage to them. I'm pretty sure everybody else Buster only does 1. So part of the nice thing about these routes, you get to fight a Robot Master that's, at least a little weak to Buster.
Yeah, top first is one of the casual routes. At least it was for me, and the top fight with Buster is not too challenging at all. Top fight with Buster fast is a little bit of a different story.
Into the laggy room of Shadow Man stage.
Fastest favorite room, TM?
Really one of the laggiest rooms in the game.
Yeah, we're lucky that we get the music cancel.
The second time through here, with all the Dr. Pepper waterfalls in the background.
Has to taking it nice and slow with these parachute jumps. Not a bad decision in a race, especially under pressure. Same with Prissy. Didn't
Especially
catch
after-
Darko's, but he's already out on the other side.
Especially with the last race for Fasta.
Yeah, something like that can shake your confidence. I know I've been there.
The unfortunate thing about it is really going through those screens with Top as fast as you can is part of the benefit of the route.
Yeah, if you aren't doing that and you aren't mashing, you're losing time on top first. That's how close the top first and magnet first routes are. It's a couple seconds. Top first is just significantly more challenging.
Yeah, that's part of the beauty of Magnet First. It's very consistent. It's not even double-digit seconds slower. So if you go that route and somebody else goes top first, it's the faster route, but they really need to execute. And the execution on Magnet First is just a little bit easier. The execution on Gemini first screen is always a pain.
Oh yes,
And-
jumping over all those fire bars, and just a ton of mashing.
On the
And then
penguins.
all leading up to Proto Skip, sad face. Fastest got it.
Scarily beautiful,
Darko's
this
got it.
movement through this screen.
Yeah, Proto Skip in Gemini is not that hard. Hardest part is setting up the slide at the proper distance from the screen transition. This is made especially challenging by reminder that every CRT TV, if you're playing on a console, has different cutoff on all sides of the screen.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you need to sit down and experiment with your TD and find out just how far you can go before sliding. If you go too far, you're going to walk into the screen transition, no skip for you. But you do have a pretty big window to slide in terms of just the game itself. As long as you're getting the slide pretty close to the screen transition, you are good to go. One
Fast
tile
and
slides. That is
most
all.
of the
That
way
is all.
through here. Good. Darko and Prissy working their way through, while Feral Pigman showing off the magnets against the Cats and Tops stage. It's only 5 magnets compared to the 10 Buster shots?
Something crazy. Something fast. You're
Fasta.
gonna see some more Shadow Blade Gemini fights.
Oh, goodness.
Gemini Man is fully manipulatable, as far as I know. Does not mean fighting him is easy, but when you know what you're doing, it is the same muscle memory movement every single time, which is nice. Still quite the challenge to learn. Feral Pigman taking it easy on the last top jump there. Can't say I blame him. Those jumps are not super tight, but they're very scary looking, especially in a race. And then top is down for Pigman. while the top first racers are starting Needle stage. Once again, we are seeing a lot of the Gemini laser in here, and later we're going to see Rush Coil Buster used. Again, routing in Mega Man games in terms of your weapons is very, very important. It takes a lot of time to switch back and forth between weapons, some games more than others. You may have noticed that Mega Man 1's menuing was a lot more forgiving in terms of time than Mega Man 3's. It is still very worth it to not have to menu excessively. Menuing back to Needle for those Hammer Joes and then using it on the boss, just another little time save, trying to minimize how much time you are spending in menus.
The one thing you'll see later in that stage is magnet missiles to take out some enemies. I'm pretty sure that's what the magnet first route does. Makes the kills themselves a little bit faster and easier. Again, don't need to mash as much if you don't go top first. Yeah, just the screen switching in the Mega Man 2 and 3 menus can be a killer, like you were saying. So Feral Pigman now is breezing through the parachute screen.
With Magnet, it's real easy because the magnets pretty much automatically seek to parachute, so you just slide, jump, shoot, all the way across.
You might say it has a polar opposite difficulty level. I'm gonna get banned from screen, am I?
That was a top quality pun. If you get banned, I'm going down with you.
Okay. Well, now we get to see Magnet. What are we up to? 5th?
I can't keep track. I think 5th. Second proto fight. Ow, sad face. This game hurts my soul.
That little pose you get with Mega Man firing off the one shot as he lands, I think that is Japanese cart only. Minor version differences that don't really make a big difference in the grand scheme of things.
Which really... Mega Man games, besides 2, because it's an entirely different difficulty, have the biggest USJ version differences? I know 6, it doesn't matter.
Really, it's pretty much 5, with that one cutscene just being agonizingly slow after the Darkman fight. 2, like you were saying, you could play US on difficult and you would be playing the same game, and you would just also have the same length of time as a difference. But I don't think there's any gameplay differences in any of the other carts. So again, this magnet fight with Shadow Blades. Besides just doing more damage, really the best thing about it is you can shoot the blade up. So whenever Magnet Man jumps up to the ceiling, it might cost you some frames, but you're still going to kill him very fast.
Chrissy with a very clean magnet kill there. Same with Darko. And Feral Pigman is taking on the Gemini 1-block slides right now, while Fasta in the lead is headed into Hardmit stage. Fasta's Revenge incoming.
Yep, Fasta just needed to warm up after that Mega Man 1 race.
So, note about those bees. You need to hit them with whatever weapon you're hitting them with before the big bee drops the beehive. Once the hive is dropped, it becomes invulnerable and will crash down and give you a bunch of bees to deal with.
Not the bees.
Not the bees. So you want to deal with those very quickly and very decisively with whatever weapon you choose. And so once again, that's just another thing where it's like you just have to know the route, know the movement, and that isn't too much of a problem if you know what you're doing.
Shouts to Feral Pigman clutching out that Gemini fight.
Indeed.
Very little health there, but he'd never had any problem with it. The Met Dozers, it's worth noting, because we never really talked about it, they have a really weird, wonky hitbox.
It's not very big.
It's very easy to not hit them, and it's also very easy to fire a shot and be very surprised that it hit them.
Yeah.
That's why, you'll see them spray bullets at the Met Dozers, just kind of hoping it connects.
Takes 3 hits. Fasta taking down Proto halfway with magnets there. I don't think I've ever seen that before, but the Met Dozers especially, they tend to put them in very low corridors, which makes it very challenging to get up to the top of your jump and just hang up there while you lay in shots because you're just bouncing off the ceiling. So at a high level, as we've said, Mega Man 3 is a mashing game, so these guys know how to take them down one shot, no problem. Less experienced players will probably be doing it in 2 until you're really nailing it. Especially with just how challenging the hitbox is. Got a Herdman down and a Herdman down for Durko and Prissy respectively.
We have a Snake Man selected for Fasta.
And a Needle Gate entered for Feral Pigman.
So again, really after all these Robot Masters, going into Snake is where pretty much all of the routes tend to unify. At least these 2 routes, I guess Gemini first would take out Snake Man relatively.
A Nadua with the back around shot for Feral Pigman. That is always the hope and prayer of those who Nadua laser. You just kind of gotta hope that it hits on the way around, or else you're just stuck waiting out the full thing. With how much Needleman jumps around and does his whole thing, once the shot's in the air, if it misses the first time, you're just kind of praying, honestly. Sliding under those pole vaulter enemies is a little more challenging than it looks. There's a pretty precise timing to it, but once you're decent at slide chaining, it's not terribly challenging.
Yeah, most of them, if you just slide through the room, you'll accidentally hit it for most of them. There are a few that it's harder to get, and you're just hoping that you have the health for it.
You just kind of you'd have to delay a little bit while they're on screen, and then it lines it up perfectly. So once again, we're just seeing a lot of Rush Jet usage in this stage, because Snake Stage is very vertical and just basically not horizontal, which is what vertical means, but also not just vertical, but up and down and around. And Rush Jet, especially in Mega Man 3, is the master of that, because you can fully control what direction it goes in, which is a feature that never returns, I guess, until you get the jetpack in Mega Man 6. Which basically is why Mega Man 6 is the best. But anyways, we're here talking about Mega Man 3. So, got a Snake Man fight, up and down for Fasta. Durko and Prissy are in the open sky area, bouncing up and down off of Rush Jet to get Mega Man off screen to reduce lag and to reduce Rush energy consumption. Not that energy consumption on Rush is a big concern for these runners, because it's all routed out. The lag is the primary benefit in this stage. Pigman is not far behind as he is entering the sky section now. It's worth noting that those cloud platforms that they're skipping by doing this Rush Jet have pretty bad collisions, and sometimes you can just get thrown off of them and die for no apparent reason, so those Rush Jet strats are kind of a savior. Meanwhile, we've got Spark Stage for Fasta, and Durko and Prissy are on the way in as Pigman finishes up the fight. These, little, the blocks that just kind of shoot up, lining those up, dealing with those casually is no fun. In the speedrun, though, same kind of thing where once you know what you're doing with them, it's a couple precise slides, and just movement routing, same every time. And you're through. Got the long fall here. And meanwhile, Durko and Prissy are kind of cruising through the same sections I was just talking about, while Pigman is just getting started.
Sparkman stage again, just a little laggy in a lot of spots. Fasta now making it through that last screen that looks very daunting, but it's actually not. It's one of those screens, too, if you ever get there and you're kind of starting to sweat, not remembering exactly what to do, that's a good place to just pull out Rush Jet and just go.
Yeah.
Don't die in the last screen of the stage.
No, do not do that. Rush Jet, or when in doubt, just kind of stand on the pushing platform and damage boost on the screw so that you don't die from the spikes, and then get across a couple, wash, rinse, repeat. But that being said, once you know the strat for that section, it's riding a bicycle sort of thing. Same movement, just execute. So Fasta is headed into the Doc Robots. Looks like he is headed into Doc Gemini first, based on his splits.
The one thing to remember here on Feral Pigman's screen, you notice he just kind of walked off one or two of those rising platforms. Do that, don't slide. You'll slide off them too fast. You won't be high enough. It's just part of the movement there. It's Fasta now into Gemini for the Doc Robots.
So this first screen of Doc Gemini actually is one of the few rooms in the game where your strats are going to change in real time. You can kind of change what you're doing in terms of dealing with those enemies depending on whether or not you get extra weapon pickups to give you more magnets. Fasta got one small one, which allowed him to get all the way to the end of the screen with it. If you don't get enough, it's no big deal. Once again, we are purposefully spawning the tadpoles in places that are out of our way so that we can just cruise through the spots that we need to. Fasta entering the Doc Flash fight here.
Worth noting, Prissy has music playing in Doc Shadow stage right now.
Ooh, so he did not get the skip or did not attempt it. I did not see.
I think he attempted.
So you'll be able to see, compared to Darko, who got the skip, just how laggy this room is. Like, this entire stage, not just the room. Especially that middle room, though. The music comes back after Doc Wood because you get the boss music, and then the game is like, alright, boss music is over, time to restart. So you don't get lag reduction for the second half of the stage, unfortunately. Feral Pigman hot on Fasta's tail through Doc Gemini. Not terribly far behind, about a half a stage.
I think Feral Pigman was fourth through these for the racers on screen. I think Colonel Fatso might actually be slightly ahead of them. Shelny is just starting the Doc Robots.
Doc Bubble here, taken down with Shadow Blades, just like in Mega Man 2. Not a problem, just like in Mega Man 2. It's going to be hard to say who is in the lead until these routes resynchronize at probably Wily, maybe before that. Doc Robot route does not matter at all, because you don't get any weapons from the Doc Robots, unfortunately. It would be really cool if you got the Mega Man 2 weapons again and you had 16 weapons to work with, but that is not the case. So you can play them in any order you want. So often runners will do their least favorites first, so they have the reset out of the way if necessary. So we just gotta wait and see. But so far we have 2 and 2 on route choices, so we at least get to see some like sub races here until things reconnect.
And Fasta didn't get the music despawn either, but pretty much that's kind of a case of Fasta knows what he's doing with the hundreds upon hundreds of runs that he's done of this game.
Yeah, it is not a big worry for him. He knows how to handle the lag very, very well. So that room full of the opening platforms that drop you when you stand on them is not too much of a problem for him. So it looks like Prissy is about a screen behind. Darko, not a huge lead for a Mega Man 3 race. One wrong move in any stage, and that one screen has been swapped because of a death. But we'll just have to wait and see. Pigman attempting to damage boost through those eye walkers, takes a second hit from the last one. Don't think he got the music despawn based on the lag. He did not. So Fasta is done with Doc Shadow. Pigman is headed into the halfway fight. Darko is headed into the final fight of Doc Gemini, and Prissy is hot on his heels.
This Woodman fight's pretty annoying because much like all the Doc robots, they hit like trucks. And the fastest way to do it, you want to get to that right side of the screen. Fortunately, there is health right on the other side. Rest of Doc Shadow, not that bad. Doc Needle, this section's just awkward, I still think.
Ooh, Pigman takes a death. As I
Ooh.
said, one wrong move in these Doc stages especially. Doc stages are super cruel. They have 2 checkpoints at the beginning and after the first Robot Master. So one mistake can be very, very costly, especially in terms of weapon energy, because of how carefully these games are routed. You can put yourself in a very sticky situation when you don't have enough of a certain weapon. Pigman makes it across the parachute section, though, and knows his stuff, gets the magnet refills where he needs them. Fasta is headed into the Doc Needle Rush Jet section here.
He just escaped Airman with a little bit of health left. I think he could have taken
dear.
one more hit, but it was getting dicey.
Yeah, so as we said, lag reduction by having Mega Man off screen gets the Fireflies, Dragonflies out of the way because Mega Man's Y position wraps around to the bottom of the screen. So, 2 birds with 1 Rush Jet once again. Prissy is fighting Doc Air. Little easier because of the slide, not terribly much different though. Still hurts when you hit him, and when you hit the tornadoes.
The one thing I learned about that fight, just because of the lag and you're not quite sure exactly when the iframes are going to run out, that's why you tend to see runners just spam all of their spark at Airman rather than sort of timing it to not waste sparks. And it's also not like you're going to use the spark anywhere else in the stage.
Yeah,
You might as
so
well
you
just
are just
unload.
fine to do that. Just one less thing to have to worry about in that very intense fight.
Yeah, it's kind of goes towards too. You were just talking about weapon energy usage in Doc Shadow stage, and it gets down to some weapons just use so much more weapon energy than others. Magnets take 2 points each. Sparks, you can get a few shots per point of weapon energy. And the needles, forget it. You can just fire those all day.
Yeah, Needle and the Shadow Blade are very, very plentiful in this game.
Darko almost having a close run-in with Crashman.
But he is out. Darko is one of the most consistent runners of this game. Up there with Fasta. Fasta, speaking of Fasta, got the 5-frame slide there. Little time save, but as we've said, the little time saves add up when you are trying to get the 33.
It's true. Nobody has one yet.
Prissy headed into Doc Spark. Darko does not get the 5-frame slide, falls onto the ladder. Tiny time save, looks really cool when you get it. Fasta is into the spike fall.
What is the 5-frame slide for our viewers?
As you saw, there was a platform and a tile blocking you, one above it. The end of both of those platforms was at the same place, so you can't slide under the block and then jump. You actually have about exactly 5 frames to make that jump, or you fall. That occurs in a couple Mega Man games, 3, 5 Game Boy, and I'm not actually sure where else, but in the case of this one, it's 5-frame jump to save a couple more frames. If you don't get it, you fall onto the ladder. Not terribly difficult when you're used to it, but at a high level of execution, it is necessary. Fasta headed into the Breakman split. Fasta splits, so does Breakman. And now he is into the cutscene, while our other 3 racers on screen are in various parts of Doc Spark. Darko finishes up Doc Quick with the Gemini Laser.
Prissy is walking into Doc Quick right now, whereas Feral Pigman, a little further back in the stage, walking into Doc Metal instead.
Yeah, that one death in Doc Shadow put him at a pretty serious deficit, as we said with the Doc Robot stages. Deaths are very costly.
So Fasta off into Wily 1. He's a man on a mission after the previous race. Worth noting, Mega Man 3, the one NES Mega Man game, you can jump out of slides underwater.
As we've said, sliding mechanics in every Mega Man game, very picky, different in every game. If you watch Fasta's screen, I believe we are going to see another 5-frame jump at some point in this stage.
It's the jump onto Rush Jet on the Yoku Block screen?
I think so, yeah. But they could be avoiding it. No, he's just going completely under it. But if you saw the platform with those 2 large item drops, if you were to try and slide out of either side of that and jump, you have 5 frames to do so. Fasta is into the Kamagoro Maker, getting some slow turtle spawns. One fast one. 1 out of 3, or 1 out of 4 so far. So not too bad. RNG is RNG is RNG. Not much you can do about it. Darko and Prissy following hot and Fasta's heels in Wily 1. Pigman taking on Doc Quick right now, using the Snake strats that were previously mentioned. Snake is the classical weakness of Doc Quick. A lot harder to hit with, though. And very costly if you miss, because the snakes will just go run up the walls all over the place.
Good thing is you have 3 snakes on the screen at a time. Gemini, it's a little trickier too, because you use Gemini earlier in the stage, and if you never find a weapon drop, you won't have enough. That's why it's very common to see Snake there. Fasta is now going into the Easy Devil. Let's hope he can mash this time. We believe in you, Fasta.
Pigman is in the cutscene. Prissy's Kamagoro Maker is down, and Darko is cruising through stage 2 of the castle. Fasta setting up for Easy Devil. Takes damage, turns around, mashes, not quite.
Jump off.
2 blades off. So he's going to take the time loss here.
And that is going to create an opening for Darko, which he immediately gives back, even though it wasn't quite enough anyway in the first place.
No. That is not a great spot to die. Lots of spikes, it happens.
That puts Prissy on stream next in line. Colonel Fatso was a lot closer earlier. He's in Wily 1 right now.
So, with that Devil Kill, it's a pretty good example. We saw 3 out of 4 get it in the last race. That is not common. That Devil Kill is very challenging, so what you're seeing right now, 0 for 1, is more regular. We'll see if Darko and Prissy can get it. Prissy is setting it up right now. It's got the damage. Prissy's got it.
Prissy's got it.
Let's see if Darko can get it. Darko has pretty insane mashing. So I have faith in him. But still, 2 for 3. Not bad at all. Darko's got it, no problem at all. He has frames to spare because he is Darko.
Fasta had a little bit of trouble with the Mega Man clone kill. Ended up hitting him directly with top instead of using any sort of glitched coil strat. It was kind of interesting. Might need to ask him about that after the race.
Yeah, I didn't catch it because I was watching Easy Devil kills. So, Pigman on his way up to the Devil. Prissy and Darko are in different parts of Wily 3, the Frogger stage. Here comes Prissy with the clone kill. Sets it up, and he's got it. As Cap said last time around, that is not terribly hard as long as you menu fast enough. Because as we saw with Smart Alec on the Gamma kill, you need to get the menu in before the shots plink. So as long as you can do that, everything else about it is pretty darn easy. Fasta in the refights. Beef Watson setting up the Devil. Darko has got the clone killed as well. Let's see if Pigman can pull off. He does not get it. He gets about half of the health bar. So hopefully he can finish this off in the next one. Taking an E-Tank, never a bad strat for a race.
Yep, they're there. Might as well use them. Sorry, I got a phone call from a telemarketer. Good jobs.
Oh boy. Pigman setting up the reverse of the kill on the other side, going right and then left to damage, and finishes off the Devil neatly. Now we've got 4 sets of refights going on here. Not a ton to say. Lots of different weapon options for different bosses, and when you are routing capsule rooms in pretty much all Mega Man games, it is a balance of time it takes to get between capsules and efficiency of menuing. So if you're using a weapon twice, you don't have to menu again. Ooh, Fasta taking a death on Sparkman. I don't know if that's enough to strip him of his lead, but that is definitely a big hit. Pigman climbing the Frogger Tower. Setting up that rush jet perfectly.
Looks like that was his last Robot Master, so... I think
Fasta is through. Darko taking down Gemini, nice and neat.
Has Prissy taken a death?
I don't think so.
Is he the last one on screen who's deathless? He might be. Taking the damage going into the quick kill is more to set it up so that you can... It's more so that you have the iframes in the middle of the fight and it times it properly for you. You do it in the right position
Darko.
so that you can end up in the right position to continue the quick kill.
Darko once again playing it very risky going through the refights. Was down to 2 health in his last refight there. Fasta is into Gamma to finish the run here. Is on pace to beat our finishing time from the last race of 35 flat. And he's got it at 3440, excuse me.
Sub 35.
Prissy headed into Gamma as well. Darko having just finished up the Pinbot using the Snake Strats and the Moonwalk.
That's a 34 with the death on Sparkman too, so...
Yeah.
Could have easily been a very low 34.
Do not underestimate the times that these people are getting. Fasta, Darko, Prissy, Pigman are all very experienced Mega Man runners, putting up very, very good times because of their insane consistency in these kinds of races.
Prissy is...
Pigman
really
with the bank shot on Gemini.
Prissy is really happy with his time, and I'm looking at the leaderboards. He just... well, he didn't actually PB, I guess, but he's close to it.
Oh, what was his PB?
He's only 22 seconds off.
Oh, that is very close. Prissy we saw dominating in the Mega Man 2 tournament and in 46 Robot Masters. He has the skills to put up mean runs like that in races. Darko is done with a 35-30. Not bad at all either. Pigman finishing up his last refight? No, looks like he has a couple more left. He's got one more.
He's still got Sparks Light on the right capsule.
Let's see here. He does not have a lot of health. Looks like he's going to take the damage from the small Sparks. Fought him pretty much exactly the same way as Darko did. Just as scary, too. Looks like we are bringing in Chelny.
It was at least a race PB, I believe, for Chrissy, so he has that.
Which means I gotta get reset up here.
Chelny is fighting the Pinbot, taking out the cannon, setting up the lag. Chelny can mash.
Chelmy can mash, indeed.
Meanwhile, Colonel Fatso is wrapped up the Pinbot already. He is into the Gemma fight. Setting up to finish, I believe, in 4th. And he does. KLM off stream, I should say, also wrapping up with a 37. Only 6 seconds behind the Colonel.
I'm trying to get the stream reset up to keep up, but doesn't look like I'm going to beat Chelny's finish. Oh.
Feral Pigman also wrapping things up.
Chelny with the 37-37.
Mm-hmm. Only 2 seconds behind Chelny. Yeah, Feral Pigman, I think, more known on the Final Fantasy circuit, but no slouch at Mega Man 3. He's played it in the relays.
Who else are we up here? We've got Pigman, Chelny, Colonel, and Darko all finished.
There were a few forfeits in this race, unfortunately. Let's look around a little bit and see who's still going. Let's go back to Smart Alec. He is fighting a Doc Robot, Doc Crash. Now, going by his splits, this is his 3rd Doc Robot stage. Shadow will be next. So you see Casio 3rd is going into the Pinbot now. Avalon Star was on stream briefly in the last race. He's fighting the Yellow Devil right now. Nazimov working his way through the refights, and Meteor Wave. Looks like this is Doc Spark he is reaching the end of. It's the one bad thing about the Doc Robot stages when you're going back to them in the middle of a race. You don't know which one it is. Avalon Star going into the 2nd cycle of the Devil fight. Smart Alec making that dangerous jump through laggy Doc Shadow stage.
Keeping it safe with Rush Jet here, not a bad decision.
And Avalon Star finishing off the Yellow Devil with the Hard Knuckle. The intended strat, almost. You know, Casio 3rd just wrapped up the Gemma fight, finishing in 8th with a 40-2. And the Feral Pigman and Chelny combo was 6 and 7. An Infinite Mystery is in Wily 1.
Trying to get set up here to keep up with the changing racers.
Yep. Smart
Some of
Alec.
us are not blessed with great internet.
Smart Alec ran into some trouble with Doc Wood. Like I mentioned earlier, he does hit hard. And that fight's a little harder than it looks. You really need to be able to take him out quickly. The biggest thing I would say to know there is you can actually sneak some needles through the shield after he fires it. So you can get in a hit before he jumps, and that can help out. So you have Mazimov getting into the Pinbot fight. No problems with the cannon. He's setting up the lag. takes out maybe half of Wily's health before he rises back up, and then just finishes
Doing the
him off.
smart thing and switching to Shadow, as we said. Going for snakes again is going to put your health in serious jeopardy. So Shadow is always the right decision.
Got Meteor Wave in the Kamegoro. You can say the turtle machine better than I can.
Kamegoro Maker
Kamegoro Maker. There we go.
makes Kamegoros. Is
Oh, that's
Kamegoro actually the Japanese word for turtle? I have no idea.
I believe Kame is, because, the Turtle Hermit is Kame House. Shoutouts to Dragon Ball Z.
And we're getting into some serious cross-franchise lore here.
Either way, Mazimov takes care of Gemma, no problem. Meteor Wave making his way to the Devil fight. Smart Alec into his last Doc Robot in Heat. And we've got Avalon Star in the Gemini refight. Once again, taking out Snake rather than using the Gemini laser.
Having a little bit of trouble with some rogue snakes going up the walls.
Gemini Man
No
unable to
difficult.
jump over the snake, though.
No more difficult than doing it with the laser in terms of if you miss, you get punished. So, pick your poison, I guess.
Well, you do get 3 snakes on the screen to the 1 laser. So if you miss with 1 snake, you still have a chance to connect.
This is true, but the more snakes you've got out there, it just gets laggier and laggier, which can lead to more missed shots. So looks like Mazimov has been done for a little bit. Meteor is taking on the Devil. He's got him on the 3rd phase, no problem.
And we do
Avalon Star is finishing up the refights, and Smart Alec is headed into Wily's castle.
And I think we've got Infinite Mystery stream over to Fiesel now, so we should be able to bring him up soon. At least I'm assuming that's what's going to happen. Nice. Alright. Meteor Wave using the search snakes in this dark room, which is actually
Not a
working
terrible
very
idea.
effectively.
This is the whole thing with the search snakes. They crawl up the walls and stuff, so they're a very good choice for rooms where there's bumpy terrain that you're not really sure about.
It's an extra pause, but certainly it helps. Avalon Star now furthest ahead of those still in the race, using Spark on the Pinbot. Meteor Wave coming up on the Mega Man clones. Actually pretty close to Infinite Mystery. Infinite Mystery right behind him. With Smart Alec just starting out in the Wily stages. It's kind of weird now to see how fast the clone does go down to the snakes.
So looks like Smart Alec is doing the top strats for Kamegoro Maker. As we mentioned before, it's a little slower because you have to get up to the turtles. A little more challenging too. But not all that much different when you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Avalon Star about to finish up here.
My understanding is the
Rush
turtle
Jet.
always come out 1 left, 2 right, 1 left, 1 right. Might have it backwards, but it's 1, 2, 1, 1.
And Avalon Star is done in 4608.
Nice.
Not bad at all. Item 3. Meteor Wave cruising through the refights as Smart Alec heads towards the Yellow Devil.
Meteor Wave has to resort to an E-Tank in the Sparkman fight, trying to maintain this slight lead over the Infinite Mystery. Hard to count how many Robot Masters they each have left to fight. But that is the race right now. This is battle for 11th. Meteor Wave barely holding on to enough topspin to win that fight. There's Infinite Mystery into Gemini using snakes very effectively there. Only missed with one shot. It's Meteor Wave quickly dealing with Top Man using the hard knuckle.
Smart Alec challenging the Yellow Devil. Same thing, using Shadow Blades. He is not setting up for the one cycle because the one cycle is very, very hard. Playing it safe, staying outside the Devil, firing shots when he can, and oh, the Devil gets him with one health on the Devil left.
No.
Oh,
Gotta mind those E-Tanks. You know, Meteor Wave.
Mega Man 3 gives them to you. You might as well use them.
Meteor Wave using Sparks on Magnet Man, who immediately obliges by jumping to the top of the screen. Place where Shadow Blades might have served him well. Infinite Mystery deals with Snake Man, is going into Spark Man now. Taking very interesting, winding routes through these rooms. Like you were saying earlier, there's something to the routing of it sometimes.
Yeah.
Meteor Wave.
Getting through this last room with Rush is always very interesting.
Meteor Wave getting to know Nadua pretty well in there, but I think that was his last Robot Master, whereas Infinite Mystery still has to deal with the Shadow Man.
Yeah, Meteor Wave is through. I do not have Infinite Mysteries stream, so that one's on you.
Infinite Mystery is actually not spending as much time in the menu as Meteor Wave just did, so he actually picked up a few seconds back again. Smart Alec not doing as much damage as I think he would like to the Yellow Devil there in Phase 1.
He does have the lead on the Devil right now, though. So if they can continue on the same damage track, he should be able to pull it off. And he's got it in 2 cycles.
Nice.
Not
Meteor
bad
Wave
at all.
and Mazimov both using the same strategy here, going in to take out the cannon with Snake and both going up to Rush Jet down the top portion. It looks like Meteor Wave should be done with it first, but he had to back off.
Yeah, Meteor Wave is having some serious trouble there.
Meteor Wave does not have a timer on his screen. I don't know if I'm seeing them in sync or not, but they are neck and neck through Wily 5. Look out. So there's just this one stage left for him.
It's all going to come down to how quick your Gamma Quick Kill is. Smart Alec going through the Dark Room right now, picking up that 1-up.
Man, Infinite Mystery, slower through the first room, faster to menu. Don't know what to make of this race anymore. Infinite's only getting off one Shadow Blade per jump, but so is Meteor Wave. You can get off 2 if you want to. The Mystery is going to take the Jet to get up. So is Meteor Wave.
Gonna drop down on top of him.
Top jump.
And who is it?
Meteor Wave looks like on stream he won, and in RaceSpot has Meteor Wave winning by 3 seconds over Infinite Mystery. Infinite Mystery waiting for a shot to hit him before he jumped through a topspin. Meteor Wave just going for it, it looked like. Oh my goodness. Of course, if either of them had gone for the rush shots with that glitch, they would have probably finished first. But oh my goodness, that was close.
Indeed. Smart Alec is climbing up to the clones right now.
Yep.
Using an E-Tank. Interesting decision, but he has quite a few to spare, so never ever a bad idea. Ooh, is he going to be able to get it in one cycle? He does, just barely
Goodness.
get up there and get that 4th shot off with the
That
snakes.
last shot.
He had to fight for that one, but fight he did. So on to the refights he is.
Filling up Shadow Blade, not a bad idea. Just dealing with these, I don't know what to call these fake gutsmen right now.
Junk golems, I think they are.
Junk Golem makes sense to me. Let's go with it.
That enemy is reimagined in the Ariga Mega Man manga as this giant thing as opposed to the, like, vaguely Robot Master tall pile of garbage in this game.
Again, you just
Bank
can't,
around shot with
you
Smart
just
Alec.
can't fire that laser to open the fight.
It will never work. So, gotten through Needle Man though. Who's next? Magnet Man. Let's see what weapon he's gonna use. He is gonna take the Buster again. Damage boosting off of the mag shield. Dodging pretty cleanly. Other than the intentionals to get rid of the mag shield. Can't do it anymore though, running low on health. Not a bad decision, and Magnet Man is just giving him the works for his pattern, but he is through.
So if it's the fight you know, it's not a terrible idea.
And especially in a race, yeah.
But, I mean, a general rule of refights is you should almost never be using Buster. I think Quick Man is the exception. But across all the Mega Man games, you should really be finding weaknesses at this point. He's out of laser in this fight. He's going to go to Shadow Blades instead of Search Snakes. On to Hardman. You're right, he's firing these magnets 2 at a time.
Yeah, that's his problem.
It's a very good way to get...
It was a little better than last time. He was spacing them out more, because last time he just kind of pummeled them all out far too quickly. This time he was spacing it a little more, not quite enough to maximize them for the fight. Got Hard Knuckle for the top fight. And he is through with that.
Again, the only really tricky thing with the Shadow fight is make sure you don't run out of topspin.
Yep.
Using that E-Tank just to be sure.
Never hurts. This game gives them to you. Might as well take them.
I think he was going to be okay, but there's really not a lot to save them for at this point. Switches to Snakes instead of Shadow for, I think that's an accident.
Menu.
You could kind of see him a little frustrated with himself on his stream for that. Not a big deal, just an extra menu.
And one last capsule.
The Snake
Our
Man.
friend Snake Man. Not too bad with his weakness. Not very fun with just about anything else. Buster, especially for Snake Man, is not a good time and is not something I would recommend to just about anyone. His soft
just
weakness
don't
is
do it.
Shadow Blades. Is not a terrible option if you don't have Needle, but is still very slow, so... And he is through with a gold split on his stream, although he is still behind and does not look like he's going to be able to pull out the PB.
He is, in fact, already past PB.
Oh.
So again, lining up for Spark to kill this cannon. I didn't even know Spark was effective on this thing until today.
That makes 2 of us. It is not a bad strat at all, though, from the looks of it. Not like Spark has many other uses.
Yep. Spark's real uses in this game is pretty much Airman, and I think everything else you would use it on has an alternate weakness.
Yep.
He's gonna save some time on this fight. Yeah, I don't think we have game sound because I know he's using microphone.
Yeah, so unfortunately we don't want that clashing with this very important commentary, if I do say so myself. Anyways, he's into Gamma. Shadow Blades for the first phase, always a good idea. You're standing in the middle, very, very easy not to get a hit there. It's very safe. Let's see what he's going to do for phase 2.
You can see him firing the 2 blades off per jump. Comes the rush coil.
The kill. He's got it this time. First try every time.
In there.
57-15. And that is our last racer, I believe.
That is the last racer.
Meanwhile, Infinite Mystery is playing Rockman 3 Burst Chaser, so that's pretty cool.
Where everything moves really fast.
Yes, Burst Chaser is a good time. BCAS, in my opinion, is absolutely where it's at.
I'm told BCAS owns.
I have heard this as well, and I believe it is true. So it looks like that is going to be all from us for today.
Yeah, looks like that's it. Again, we've got the Mega Man 3 tournament link out there in chat. That is starting up, if ETEX is to be believed, on January 26th. So sign up now.
I need to start learning. Who's teaching me Mega Man 3 at GDQ?
There is usually a Mega Man 3 weekly race on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, so you could jump in on that too if you just want to get started, make sure the SRL account works out, and then just start playing the game fast. Of course, with GDQ coming up, I'm not sure how populated it will be, but
there's our unused planet.
Someone will be there. Yeah, there's the planet. So yeah, get signed up for that tournament. Don't forget to follow any and all the runners that you saw here.
Well, and start doing the running man during the proto sequence. I did not know you could do that. I have no idea how he pulled that off. So he's gonna try and set up for a zip here. Not quite getting it. Last time I played this game mega casually on my 3DS, I got the zip by accident. That was pretty cool.
Alright, so thanks for helping out, Proto. Thanks, Feasel, for running the restream.
Thanks for having me. Always happy to do some Mega Man commentary, especially leading up to GDQ here when I have nothing to do but sit in my room and count down the hours, honestly.
Yeah, so go ahead and get hyped for that tournament. Not sure if we have anything else lined up for this evening on Speed Gaming.
Do we have a raid target then? Let me check my following. Oh, well, there's this cool Speed Gaming channel. We've got Chelney, one of our racers, doing Mega Man 6 NE%.
Yeah, let's go to Chelney.
Always down for some Mega Man 6.
Chelney
my personal pick of the Speed games in Classic Mega.
Chelney helped out a lot with the 46 Robot Master Tournament. I'm sure he'll help out with the 3 tournament that's coming up soon. Not really a big racer himself, just more of an RTA runner, so when he's playing, you know it's going to be good.
Indeed.
Get in there. I think our raid message needs to be "When is night" first, as in a knight, like a guy on a horse knight.
Is that a route for Mega Man 6?
It's an old route, but it checks out. It's actually was recommended famously by, not famously at all, but by GamePro magazine, if you remember what that is.
Oh, baby.
And
I used to read that.
I believe Mega Man 6 runner and GBQ veteran Dark Teryx started his Mega Man 6 speedrunning career with Night First, much like Fasta started with Magnet First. Although, whereas Fasta brought Magnet First to glory, Teryx immediately realized the folly of his ways and went to Wind First. But Night First does
thank
remain
you for
a
watching. Hope you've enjoyed this wonderful day of Mega Man. I know I have. Go give Chelney some love, and we will see you soon for your Mega Man 1 race at Awesome Games Done Quick 2017.
Have a good night, everybody.